Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Sunday, July 24th, 2016. These significant fire potential impacts are really not expected to come into the Great Basin until next week. We're looking at the Thursday to Saturday timeframe right now with an increase in lightning coverage to southern and central Nevada. Followed on the heels of very hot and dry conditions for the last few weeks, this could be a very critical fire weather pattern that we'll be going into for the second half of the work week and into the weekend. Yesterday's precipitation and lightning activity is shown here with just a little bit of lightning over southeast Utah. These storms were generally a mix of wet and dry. Shown here are the number of days since we've had 1/10 of an inch of rain in some of the locations across the Great Basin. A couple stand out. In Reno, it's been 79 days since they've received 1/10 of an inch of rain, and Salt Lake, it's been about 64 days. So definitely very dry out there, unusually dry for the time of year. Recent fire activity is shown here with a number of new starts along the Wasatch Mountains. Current ERCs are quite high across much of the Great Basin, except for southern and eastern Utah, where the precipitation has been occurring for the past few days. Some of these very dry areas, particularly western Nevada and northern Utah, are setting new records for the time of year. Recent samplings for southwest Idaho and northern Nevada are showing live fuel moisture in the sagebrush continuing to be very dry for the time of year. Fire danger trends for the past 7 to 10 days have been increasing significantly, pretty much region-wide. A few of the areas are reaching or nearing historical maximums for the period of record, which goes back about 10 years. This morning's water vapor imagery shows that a high-pressure system has flattened out just a bit as the low-pressure system passed to the north across the southern Canadian border. Dry westerly flow has moved into the Great Basin for very low relative humidities and lots of sunshine. Most of the PSAs in the GAC are considered very dry, with moderate risk of large fires. Today's maximum temperatures are going to be in the mid to upper 90s across many northern and central valleys, with minimum relative humidities in the single digits for the most part. On Monday, a little bit of moisture makes its return into southern and eastern Utah for some isolated thunderstorm activity there, but will be dry elsewhere across the area. Minimum relative humidities continue to be very dry, and temperatures will be warming across the area. Only isolated thunderstorms are possible over the higher elevations of eastern and southern Utah. More of the same is expected on Tuesday, as the pattern remains fairly steady for Monday into Tuesday. Conditions remain generally very dry across Idaho, Nevada, and western Utah, with just a little bit of moisture moving into eastern Utah for some isolated thunderstorms. The 3-day precipitation accumulation is shown on this map and really just highlights the possibility for some light precipitation over the higher elevations of eastern Utah. As we work into the second half of next week, things begin to change a bit as the high shifts over Nevada, and this will allow a little bit of moisture to make its way up through the state of Nevada. Fuels are very dry in these areas, and so it will become an area of concern for large fire potential. Some of the moisture really just begins to make its way into the very southern tip of Nevada on Wednesday, so we haven't highlighted anything for Wednesday. On Thursday, however, it looks like there's a better chance for some isolated, generally dry thunderstorms starting out for Thursday afternoon across the southern tip of Nevada. Moisture expands further northward on Friday, allowing a mix of wet and dry thunderstorms to develop further north into central Nevada and portions of southwest Utah. Right now it's looking like a big push further northward happens on Saturday, with more widespread lightning coverage across Nevada, possibly making it up into southern Idaho and portions of Utah as well. The exact timing and location of these thunderstorms is still somewhat uncertain, but we wanted to put out the highlights now to make everyone aware of the lightning threat that is going to be increasing for the weekend. Shown here is the precipitation accumulation expected for Friday to Saturday. Right now it's still very light. We're not expecting a whole lot of precipitation with these storms, which could really be quite a critical fire weather pattern for much of Nevada. The extended outlook going into the first week of August is calling for continued above normal temperatures over the Great Basin, although not quite as extreme as we're seeing this week. And they're also expecting above normal precipitation over Nevada and Utah as the high pressure shifts back towards the east just a bit. This concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.